Welcome everybody to the Conceal Carry channel. I am Grant McLean. Thank you guys so much for joining us today. I'm super excited about the unboxing and the review for the gun that I'm going to show you today. Before we jump into that review, I want to say thank you to our friends over at Northwest Armory. They are helping out our channel immensely, providing us with the guns for the reviews so that way we can give you honest feedback on those, so you can make a well-educated decision on whether or not this is going to be a good fit for you. Okay, so if you need to order anything from Northwest Armory, go to nwarmory.com. They are shipping nationwide to all the FFLs, so you can actually get guns from them. If you pop into the store, make sure to say hi to Khaki. He's such a good boy, and maybe bring him a treat. Okay. So anyways, I'm super excited to jump into this because this is such a sought-after gun on the market right now, and it has fantastic reviews across the board. But I want to jump into what you're going to be seeing when you get this for the first time at home and what to expect out of the box. Okay, and the gun I'm talking about is the Sig Sauer P365 XL with the Romeo Zero. Okay, so let's go ahead and unbox this baby. I'm super excited to show you what we have here. What a fantastic pistol right there. So a little bit about this pistol. The overall length is 6.6 inches. The height overall is 4.8 inches. And the width on this is a whopping 1.1 inches. That is one of the things that appeal to people about this, is it is a small micro compact, Sig calls it. And we'll talk about that in a second. But I would say it's more like a subcompact. But it's super thin. It's ergonomic. It's really a fantastic choice if you are used to shooting a full-size gun and you want something that you're not just going to lose in your pocket, or something that is not going to have really much worth over 3 or 4 yards. This is going to give you some length to it. And we took this to the range, and I'll show you my findings at the range with this. So let's talk about what comes in the box here. Obviously, you have the pistol. You have the little safety flag there. Okay, you're going to get two 12-round magazines. You'll also get a lock. This is going to be the plate for the Romeo optic. So if you so chose to remove that optic, you do have your factory iron sight there. You have your Sig sticker, a couple pieces of advertising for ammunition. We have our Romeo Zero manual and your P365 manual. Okay, so you have all the propaganda you need and all the stuff you don't want, right? All right, so let's talk about our experience with this at the range. Okay, and after a few rounds of getting used to the sight, here's what we basically found. And I made a few adjustments to the sight from the factory. Okay, so keep that in mind when you go to the range and you start plugging rounds down. It may be a little bit drifted to the left or right, or your elevation may be a little bit off, but it's really easy to adjust those. So to me, that wasn't too big of a deal. But I shot it at 3, 5, 7, and 10 yards on this target here, and we're shooting 5 rounds in 2 seconds. So at 3 yards, we're looking at a 1.1 inch group. At 10 yards, we're looking at 1.9 inch group. So not a huge amount of difference there, and it was incredibly reliable. The whole time, no jams, no misfeeds, no stovepipes, nothing like that. Everything came out wonderful. The ammunition that I used was just regular, I believe it was Federal, just ammunition, range ammo. Nothing special about that either. Other than that, it performed very, very well at the range. So let's talk about this gun from top to bottom, okay? So let's start with the sights here. Now, the front sight, this is going to be a tritium sight. The factory sights are tritium rear sights too, and they are metal. But really what we're talking about here is this Romeo Zero. Now the Romeo Zero comes in 3 MOA or 6 MOA, okay? So this is a 3 MOA that's installed on there from the factory, okay? Now on this, you have 8 different brightness settings, okay? And there is a small little button there that you can push to adjust the brightness settings. So when it's at its lowest setting, it's going to flash, and then it will hold still. When it goes, and then every time you press the button, it will go brighter, 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 okay? When it goes to its brightest setting, it's going to flash, and then it's going to hold. And so then from there, it's going to, every time you press the button, it's going to go down. So it's really easy to use that, and you can use either your fingernail or like a little Allen wrench to go ahead and push that. Now, this is their MOTAC sight, so it's motion activated, and these turn on incredibly fast. And with that being said, you have about a 20,000 hour lifespan on that battery. Now, when you take the battery out, you do have to remove the sight. The battery's on the bottom, so that's probably the only inconvenient thing, but you're going to find that with other micro red dot optics too. So it's, you know, nothing that I would say is, you know, bad, you know, comparative to everything else that's on the market, okay? Now, with the sight, there is one thing that I would change on it, okay? So if you take a look on the back here, you have these notches, and this is essentially to make up for the rear sight that you've taken off, and it works. There's a little slit in there, and you will kind of lose those rear sights a little bit because everything's just black. It's all the same color. So what I would recommend to do is maybe put some sort of white paint or nail polish or something to fill in that little vertical line. And from there, and I'm going to do that with this one because just maybe a little bit about this. I ended up loving this gun so much, I bought it, okay? So I own this. And I'll tell you, I'm going to put a little white line on mine, so that way I can find that rear sight even faster. So between that rear sight with a little line and the dot in the front, it's going to look like a little lollipop, and I'm going to be able to just find that super, super quick. The red dot is awesome, and it really does co-witness with the rear sights very, very well, okay? So, like I said, after a few adjustments, we were shooting this thing beautifully. Now, the slide, I really do like the slide. The machining on the slide, how they've trimmed down the front and made those lines really sexy, if you could almost call, you know, I'm not one of those types of people that I think polymer frame guns a lot of times are sexy, but this being just the lines, the fit, the finish, I love it. The serrations in the front, love that. Huge fan of that. Really like that slide, and it's not a heavy slide either, okay? I know that there are some aftermarket springs. If you wanted to do a lighter slide, you could certainly get those, but overall, the slide, the fit on that, fantastic. Now, when it comes to the safety, on some, you can get them with a safety. So some 365 XLs, not XLs with Romeos, you can get a manual safety here. So fantastic if you want to get a safety. I have not seen one in person. When I do get my hands on one, I certainly will do a review, and I'll tell you, is a safety a good one or a bad one? Is it worth it or not? You know, is it a concern of mine? Obviously not a big concern. There are the internal safeties on this pistol though, so if you do drop it, I'm not concerned about it misfiring due to dropping it. But outside of that, there is no safety, okay? Now, for the mag release here, it is ambidextrous. You can change those from left to right side depending on, you know, your shooting hand. You can change that out. It is fairly easy to find. It sticks up off that grip, not too far to where it would get caught on things, because remember, this is meant to be a concealable gun, but it's very easy to find, okay, with your hand. Now, I do notice that with the mag release here, okay, so with that mag release, when I have my middle finger on the grip, it does slightly block my thumb from being able to press the mag release all the way down and release the mag. So you can see here, I do have to move my middle finger just slightly, and also my pinky kind of, actually it's more so I'm moving my palm out of the way because that's going to hold in that mag on the bottom too. So I found that after playing around with this, dry firing it at home, it's not such a factor, but right out of the box, it was something that I had to get used to a little bit, okay? So by no means was that like a big factor for me. So the mag release, like it, you know? You're just going to have to get used to it a little bit, and you will change. I have a medium-sized hand. You will have to change your grip just slightly over to push that all the way in, okay? All right, so let's go ahead and jump into this grip. Now, this is the X grip. So on the XL models, you get an X grip, which is an extended grip. Also, the magwell, you have a slight flare to the magwell, and the beaver tail is extended as well. I love this. And I know that guys online are taking the standard P365s and putting the XL grip on them. And that's going to make the barrel pretty much flush with the end of it. Looks fantastic. I like having a little extra barrel. In fact, for this, I ordered a longer barrel, one of the Griffin Armament ones, where it has the compensator that you can thread out. So I'm super excited to shoot that see how this shoots with that micro comp on there. So I'm very, very looking forward to that. And I'll tell you guys how it goes. So this is super ergonomic. It doesn't have any exchangeable back straps or anything like that, but honestly, everybody had a chance to hold this gun. You know, I find that it really doesn't matter are your hands small, big, or anything like that. This is such a great, they did such a great job on shaping this and making it ergonomic and comfortable that I found it really doesn't matter how big your hands are. You don't feel like this gun is too little or too big, or it's just that perfect size. That XL is just perfect right in the middle. So I really like this one. Let's talk about this trigger. I love this X trigger. It's a flat face trigger. It has a 90-degree break on it, and it's heavy enough for me to feel comfortable with not having any other manual safeties that I wouldn't accidentally just pull this trigger, okay? So let's go ahead and give this a pull. Okay, mag's out. And here we go. I'll go ahead and turn this way for you guys so you can see. So it's got a little bit of take up there, okay? And then break. Now check out the reset on this. Yeah, not super long of a reset, but not a super short reset to where you're shooting a second shot accidentally, you know? And I've done that. I've known a lot of people to do that with those super short reset triggers. So you're obviously not going all the way back out there, but the trigger reset is just kind of like right in the middle, which I like, and it's a nice clean break to it as well. So trigger, yeah, definitely like this. As far as ergonomics go, you know, like I said earlier, I love the shape of the grip. I love how everything there, it's not boxy, so everything's kind of been smoothed over on all the edges. Even with the Romeo, everything's nice and smooth on top, and the front of the slide nice and smooth. Now for the slide lock lever right there, it's been smoothed over as well, and you can see that the machining on that is fantastic. It's not one of those types of things where it looks out of place. I've seen on some pistols where it looks kind of a copy-paste type of thing when it comes to optics or, you know, any of the external pieces, and this looks really, really good. In fact, one of the things that I do like about the fit and finish of this gun is you'll see the optic has the same texturing as the grip. So the optic even, you know, is very cohesive. Love that. Okay, let's talk about the recoil. So at the range, I found that the recoil on this is really quite manageable. Your hand sits nice and deep into that grip, nice and high. You have that undercut. See how thin that is? You get that nice thin undercut, so you can get your middle finger nice and high up in there. And you get a really positive purchase on the pistol. And being that it's such a small gun and a polymer frame, I found this to be one of the most pleasurable, you know, shooting guns for its size. You know, I've shot other small micro compact, subcompact 9mm that are less manageable by long shot than this is. This was a fantastic gun to shoot, and after shooting it even for hours, I didn't feel that my hands were getting tired, my hands were slipping. The grip on this is fantastic if your hands are wet or sweaty. Just love that. So the recoil, in my opinion, very manageable as far as that goes. Accessories for the gun right now, there's a lot of accessories that are available for these. This has been crushing the market. The 365 in any configuration has just been crushing the market right now. Obviously, you have micro red dots that are available. There is an accessory rail here, and manufacturers are making accessories to fit that rail. Sig Sauer has some stuff that's beautifully finished, nice flush finishes. Some of those things don't have quite the support for holsters, though, yet. But I've seen custom slides, custom grip stippling. I have one of these with me. This is the extended magazine. This is the 15-round magazine, and you can see, I mean, how beautiful that goes up to it. Now, the back of it is, there's a little bit to be desired on the back, as you can see, but looks good, functions great. Just the back has a small amount to be desired. But other than that, there's a pile of accessories coming out for these guns. So super excited to see what's coming in the future. So overall, fit finish, absolutely love it. You guys, this gun I would be comfortable recommending to any of my friends or family for sure. It's sitting right there in the middle, you know, at between a subcompact and micro compact, and you have a 3.7-inch barrel on there, so you're getting some length out of it. I mean, think about it. Glock 19 is only a 4-inch barrel. So, I mean, and this is a lot smaller than that. But also, you know, with that 15-round magazine, you also have now the capacity of a Glock 19 as well. You know, the thing is this has a sell price, MSRP of $685. I've seen it in stores for $680. And I think that it's well worth the money, especially the fit, the finish, the functionality, you know, the brand behind it, Sig Sauer, fantastic. But you know, let's talk about the size of this. You know, they say it's a micro compact, and I'm gonna tell you why I might disagree a little bit with that. Okay, so here is a P238 Sig Sauer. It's a little bit fatter because I have the crimson trace on the front there. I absolutely love this gun, but you know what? I'm going to show you. This is also what Sig Sauer considers to be a micro compact. Okay, so I don't know that I would call this 365 XL a micro compact by any means. It's not terribly large, you know, not a ton larger, but I don't know that I would necessarily call it a micro compact. A subcompact, I'd be right in there. Okay, because you'll also see, I'll show you here, here's a Glock 19 Gen 5, and we'll do the same thing. So compact, so you can see now it's kind of like right in between those two, right? And you also see the width, so you can see how much thinner that is, right? So a lot of people carry this, but at the same time, you know, it's quite boxy. I don't think that's anything new. In fact, it's almost like Glock embraces it, you know. But that's kind of the thing is I would disagree. You know, as much as I love this gun, I don't know that I'd necessarily agree with, you know, them saying that this is micro compact. But outside of that, fantastic gun. I have really enjoyed owning this gun and shooting this gun, and I would recommend it to you. Okay, so anyways, you guys, thanks so much for tuning in for this unboxing and honest review of the Sig Sauer P365 XL with the Romeo Zero. Now make sure you hit that like and subscribe. That helps out the channel immensely. I'm going to go ahead and upload another video here shortly of another unboxing and honest review. But make sure you hit that subscribe so that way you know when that new video uploads, okay? And again, make sure you go to nwarmory.com for any of that, any of your gun needs. They are shipping to local FFLs all over the country. Okay. Perfect. Perfect. Now, the back of it is, there's a little bit to be desired on the back, as you can see. But, you know, most extended magazines, they're pretty ugly. So, and then they don't fit, and the fit and finish to them isn't that great. But being that, you know, this is really, I don't know what the I'm trying to say. But